everyone, Steve here from Learn Online Video, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can capture some really silky smooth looking footage. No gimbals, no tripods, no sliders. So every clip in the sequence you just watched there was shot completely handheld, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how it's done. Okay, so a little bit of context here, okay? Last week I was on a shoot for the UK Calendar Girls cover shoot, and my job was to capture some behind the scenes video to help promote the calendar. Now, I knew I wouldn't have long with the models on this day, so it was really important that I maximize my time, and an absolute surefire way of doing that is by shooting handheld. No faffing about balancing gimbals or setting up sliders or unclipping and pulling tripod legs. 100% handheld without sacrificing any of the production value. So, how do you shoot smooth handheld video? Well, there are a few key steps to this, but I'm going to walk you through each one so that the next time you're out on a shoot, you can apply these same techniques and start shooting really smooth handheld footage. Okay, so number one is shoot at a high frame rate. Ideally 120 frames per second, but 60 frames per second should just about do it. The reason I say shoot at a high frame rate is that this will allow us to slow our footage down. And when we slow our footage down, this is going to give us some really nice smooth camera movement and get rid of any nasty camera shake. Another reason for shooting in slow motion is that this allows us to increase the length of our clips. So we can turn a 1 second clip into a 4 second clip, which gives us much more footage to work with in the edit. Okay, so number two is post-stabilization, okay? With a lot of these clips, I shot with the intent of adding post-stabilization. And look, this is slightly a risky strategy because post-stabilization doesn't always work. Sometimes you get that horrible warp effect on your footage, but when it works, it really makes a difference. Just take these two clips here, for example. This first one is with no post-stabilization, and this one is with post-stabilization added. And as you can see, there's a big difference between how smooth both of those clips are. And that's exactly why these tools exist, so use them if you've got them. If you've got a clip that's a little bit shaky, just add some post-stabilization and that's going to smooth out any unwanted shake. Now, when you combine shooting at a high frame rate and adding post-stabilization, you're guaranteed to get some really smooth looking shots. But hey, here's another tip, okay? Shoot using a wide-angled lens. For 99% of these shots, I was shooting at 17mm, but anywhere within that range will do. Now, the reason for doing this is that you really want to create a sense of movement, and you can achieve this by shooting wide and swooping your camera past something. Whether that's swooping through the window of a car or swooping past the deadly weapon of an Avenger girl, by swooping our camera and moving it past something, it's really going to emphasize that movement. Also, think about how your camera moves when it's on a gimbal or a slider, and then try to replicate that movement by just using your hands. For example, a gimbal will allow you to walk and follow your subject in one smooth movement. So try and replicate that same smooth movement by just using your hands. Now, straight out of camera, this shot is going to look far from perfect, but if you're shooting at 120 frames per second, then slow it down by 25% and add some post-stabilization. And this will take what is, quite frankly, an unusable clip and turn it into something much more interesting. And the same rules apply for a slider shot. Just think about how your camera would move if it was on a slider and try and replicate that same movement by just using your hands. Use something in the foreground to create depth and reveal your subject. Also, improvise on the day. Think about how you can take advantage of shooting at a higher frame rate. Think about things that would look cool in slow motion. Take my shoot, for example. I noticed that there was a fan next to some crates on the floor. So I used this to my advantage by capturing the wind going through one of the model's hair. Also, if you're shooting handheld, then this is a perfect opportunity to capture some in-camera transitions. Now, yes, you're gonna look like a slight maniac when you capture these, but just think about how good the shot will look. The whip pan is a nice easy one. Just whip out of one clip and whip into another. Normally a straight cut is enough to transition between the two clips. Just hide your cut in the middle of the whip motion. You can always add a crossfade to help smooth things out. So look, don't feel like you need lots of equipment to capture smooth, steady shots, because you just don't. Yes, it's nice to have a gimbal once in a while to get a nice long, steady walking shot, but it's entirely possible to turn up on a shoot, just like what I did, and capture everything handheld. So look, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, let me know by giving it the old thumbs up. And if you'd like to watch more content just like this and learn more about video production, then you can do that by clicking over there. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.